All right, so stroke rate, misconceptions about hull speed, and spinning the merry-go-round versus spinning the basketball. I thought this was going to be a lot later in the presentation. Apparently, it's the very next point. So, let's talk about what we refer to as spinning the merry-go-round. The longer power is applied, and in greater amounts to the canoe, the longer it will take for its acceleration glide to die out. So, what you can think of is think of a power meter. All right, so we've got our power meter. And if you jack that power meter so it hits the peak this fast, what's it going to do on the other side? It's going to come back. Exactly right. If it accelerates this fast, it's going to decay just as fast. Now, if we apply that power consistently, what's going to happen? All right, if we accelerate this slow, we're going to decay this slow. All right, so that's one indisputable fact. Right, so rate of decay is going to meet rate of acceleration. So keep that in mind as to what we do versus what other people do. So you can do it this way, but when you apply power this fast, you're only going to get this much glide. So this is your release time, this is your glide time. Boom, that's as much as you get. Slower, slower. All right? So that's point one, why we do what we do. Distance traveled, so we're thinking about distance traveled per pull rather than the frequency of the pull. So this would be frequency of pull. You want to keep the same speed, right? To be able to keep that glide going as long, you have to do it more often. We want to do it less often. So here's our physics lesson. You guys are lucky. I sent this out to Lance and DJ earlier. I had a shit ton of equations in it, and they both were like, "You're going to lose your audience." So you can thank them for me summarizing it. If you want all that stuff, since I have it, I'll be happy to send it to you if you want to read through it. If you're a bit of a science nerd, or if you just want to get a little bit more background on it, I can send out all those equations. You can see for yourself how the numbers match up. But for now, we'll go with the summary. We'll go with the abbreviation. All right. So let's talk about hull speed. Let's go over some misconceptions and some realities of hull speed. A canoe accelerates through the acceleration reaction principle. So what you're going to do is you're going to move water one way with your paddle. The canoe is going to move the other way. Now this is what I alluded to earlier. We've previously inaccurately described this as water compressing and recoiling. So we've been thinking about putting it in, getting something to push against, and it's staying completely static and not moving. Right? Putting it in, boom, it sits there, and we move past it. Now, if you've watched any underwater video, where they put the camera underneath and you watch, you're going to see, regardless of how efficient that paddler is, there's always eddies coming off. Right? So there is always, no matter how efficient you are, there's always cavitation. It's just you will obviously want to limit that cavitation. So what happens is, we say that you don't pull water. We say that you pull yourself up to the canoe. What that is that's a trick. It's a coaching trick to get you in the right frame of mind. In reality, we 100% do pull water. What happens is we pull some water, it does kind of ricochet off the other water, and moves us forward. The physics lesson here is momentum is always zero. Something's moving this way, something else is moving this way. And so that's why it has to happen. But again, we don't have to worry about the specifics on that. So the momentum you put into the water will be equal and opposite to the momentum acquired by the canoe. So again, we're putting momentum going this way. That means something has to move that way. And what's moving that way is the canoe. So we're moving the water that way, we go that way. It's the action-reaction principle, right? Basic physics. All right. So bodies moving and fluids slow down due to resistive forces known as drag. This actually represents a transfer of momentum from the body of the fluid, from the body of the canoe to the surrounding fluid. So again, momentum's always zero. We're moving this way now, right? We've got water moving this way. It sent us this way. To cancel it out, something's going to slow that forward movement down. And what's going to happen is now, the momentum we gained from doing this to this is going to be dispersed to the water, right? So you're going to get skin drag, frictional drag, all those things that he already can tell you about from building paddleboards. That's why you see a wake come off canoes, right? That's why ideally they try to build vessels that have as little wake as possible, because that means there's as little drag as possible, there's as little momentum loss, right? Again, it's decaying slower. That's where you look for when you're building vessels. But The proof is in the pudding. We're slowing down because we're hitting resistant forces.